Alright, so we got this 2014 Chevy Cruze. It's got a 1.4 turbo and it's got a p00c. So yeah, p00c7. Multiple sensors, not plausible, symptom 00, current DTC, and this is actually going to be a pending code right now. What's interesting about this code is it'll only come up when you have the key on, engine off. If you start the car and you clear the code, it won't come back until you shut the car back off, which I found really interesting. So I started digging into it. Took me a few hours to figure out what's going on here. I called the All Data Tech Assist line, and that ended up being some help in the end, but yeah, it was a little bit of digging it took to figure this one out. So let me show you. Go over here into data, and they have a specification in All Data that says that if there's a difference between the map sensor, the intake, or I'm sorry, mass air flow sensor, which is also the intake air temperature sensors, 1 and 2, and this boost pressure sensor, which I have out and unplugged over here, or right here. So if these three sensors do not all have a within 1.5 psi reading, so they all have to read, let's say, and this is the other interesting thing too. So let me get here with the data. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Oh, right. All right. So let me rewind here. The barometric pressure, the map, manifold absolute pressure, and the boost pressure sensor should all read the same with the key off, engine, or I'm sorry, key on, engine off. If you look here, we got inches of mercury for the barometric. Same thing with the map sensor. So, okay, gotta do a little conversion, no problem. Pull out your phone, Google it, put that in, and you'll find that all of these are within 1.5 of each other. 1.5 psi, right? Okay. Well, that's not good enough, because it says that the threshold is 1.5, so you would think at 1.5, with it being the threshold, it shouldn't set a code. Well, it's teetering, rather. So I was digging. Well, I finally ordered a map sensor and put the map sensor in there, okay? So let me show you what happens when I put the map sensor in there. Got the new map sensor in there, and what do you notice? Our pressure on the baro side looks the same as the map side. That's what we're looking for. That's what our problem was. When we'd start the key, or start the engine, the map sensor fluctuates and goes down, so it's not looking for it to be the same as the baro, because it's not a static pressure anymore. So I just thought that was really interesting. I'm sure somebody's going to run into this somewhere down the line, and this code was kind of vague, so it did take some digging and it a couple brains. I hope this helps somebody. We did order the mass airflow sensor and the boost pressure sensor, just in case we needed them, but we ended up not needing them, so we'll send those back. But yeah, 40 some odd dollars for the map sensor, and that took care of that vague code, because usually if you have one of those sensors go askew and it's askew enough, the PCM will detect it. But on this one, it was on the threshold, and apparently it didn't like it. So it still ran good. Car ran great, idled fine. We had just replaced the valve cover for the infamous PCV issue that they have. This will have a vacuum. If you have an issue with your valve cover, you can put your finger over this. If you have a vacuum on this port right here, you'll hear it like, you know, sucking air. You put your finger over it, it feels like it's sucking on it. That means you have an issue with your valve cover. Another indication is you'll have oil coming out here. That's another indication that that's bad. Another common issue we've been noticing with these is the third cylinder here will blow out the spark plug. Not sure what the common issue is with that yet, but we've had two of them so far, but in the same week, which I found really, really weird. And then another infamous issue with the PCV systems on these things is the intake manifold. This little hose right here, you can pull this off, and I'm sure you can do a little bit of research to figure this out, and actually this new design has a little bit different setup in there, so you won't be able to see the check valve ball that they're talking about in the TSBs and stuff, and I haven't quite figured out how to test that, to be quite honest. So but yeah, that's another issue. If you have an OEM intake, you can look down in there and there's like a little check ball that you can see if it's missing or if it's there. If it's there, that means it's good most of the time, and if it's not there, then that means that you got an issue. So I hope this helps somebody, and if not everybody, and a little bit of diagnostic information there on the PIDs, what we were looking at to try and solve this code. There's only 3 sensors involved with it, so those are going to be the 3 data PIDs that you're going to want to look at, and they're actually information we were able to find on Identifix. You can screenshot this or stop the video, check out some of this information. It was pretty helpful. It didn't quite help me in my situation, but this one here did, actually, and we actually ended up having the same problem pretty much. We weren't just over 1.5 psi, we were actually on 1.5 psi, so that was another good tip there. But yeah, took a little bit of digging on this one. Next time it won't be so hard to figure out, but yeah, sometimes these manufacturers don't really specify things. So that's it for today. Next time.